Peace, peace, peace. I go by the name of Barry Mars, also known as Doc Marzi. You are now listening to the Get to Know Me podcast.
Get to Know Me podcast is sponsored by Big Love LLC, an online clothing apparel shop for men, women, children, and no label. Feel free to visit our website today at bigluv.bigcartel.com. That's biglove.bigcartel.com.
No one be on your shitty ass social media or your fucking random ass no bar ass podcast. I don't give a fuck about that nor you.
No joke right there. I'm so serious. Why so serious? Little joke. Just let her know when you want to be serious. Cause when you want to be serious, I'm gonna play around, and when you want to play around, I'm gonna be serious. And if we want to play around and be serious at the same time, I'm just gonna walk off and be serious and playing around while I'm being serious. Because I'm just playing around. Cause I'm never serious.
Why, you been feeling good?
No, I ain't been feeling it bad. But I thank God for being as well as you.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Bizzy Balboa. Welcome to the Get to Know Me podcast. Roll it up, twist it up, and light it, because it's about to go down. Welcome to the Get to Know Me podcast. Go ahead and roll it, twist it, light it, get your coffee or your tea, meditate, pray, sage the building, because you never know what may be said over the airways of the Get to Know Me podcast platform. I'm the host and creator, Bizzy Balboa. If you have been here before, welcome back, baby. I love you. How you doing? How you been? Let's catch up. I got stuff to talk to you about. If you're new here, hey, hey, how you doing? It might be some extra seats somewhere, you know what I'm saying? You can sit crisscross applesauce. Welcome in. We welcome all. We welcome everybody. But watch yourself. Be respectful over here, because this is just strictly my opinion now. Now I ain't saying that nothing is hardcore facts, but a lot of stuff that I be speaking on be facts. I'm just saying, mind your manners is all I want you to do while you're here. Now, I get told a lot whenever I'm working that I sound like a man. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't care about the opinion of a man, I'm not a man. I'm a woman. If you're listening to this and you're like, I don't care about the opinion of a woman, I'm not a woman. I'm a man. Okay? I'm just making sure all the rules are clear before we get started. All right. So usually whenever I come on here, I talk about myself, self-love, self-respect, self-worth, self bullshit. I decided that I want to go a little off the ringer here and talk about what the fuck is this? Hold on, I'm reading some shit. Oh my God. Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Shit be going on in the news, and you be like, what the fuck? They be coming up on my phone. I don't even be tapping on the news. The news just tap on me type shit. But yeah, I usually talk about myself, but I was like, I've been making a whole bunch of TikToks talking about my opinion on certain things going on in the world. And one of my friends was like, you should take this subject to the podcast. And that's the whole point. That's why I created the podcast, so I didn't have to flood my social media with all my damn opinions, because I'm highly opinionated. So, yeah, I had to realize that that was the whole point of the podcast. I need to be bringing these topics here. TikTok is cool because it does generate activity over there and creates discourse, and people be fucking with me and fucking with the way I think. But at the same time, the whole point of the podcast was to be able to do stuff like that. Talk about certain things without having to put it all over my social media. Because whenever you do certain things on social media, like art, and you're trying to sell stuff, it could fuck with your business, because people are like, oh, this bitch, she like the Isley brothers. I can't fuck with her. I ain't shopping with her. But if they don't always listen to the podcast. They might listen to the podcast. You wouldn't even know that I listen to the Isley brothers, so you would not have that opinion, and you would still shop with me. They, people ain't fucking with some of my opinions because I don't go with the norm. I don't go with the crowd. I think independently. I would like to say. I would like to say I think independently, even though almost everything in this world is influenced by something. Um, I try to be that other perspective and not just go with what sounds cool or what everybody else is saying. That's just me. Let me adjust my mic. Yeah, I might hear some rumbling. Little rumble tumble ain't never hurt nobody. All right. All right. I'm back. So the first thing that I wanted to address is people dick riding celebrities. That's right. Fucking dick riding celebrities. Like these people are gonna come in your life and save you. They're not gonna save you. They don't even know you, Eric. Motherfuckers. I saw a video where a fan was pressing BigXthaPlug. If you don't know BigXthaPlug, he's like one of the rappers been blowing up the past year. Got a very distinctive voice, and his music has a distinctive sound. But it's like cinematic. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's Big X because he's big as fuck. You know what I mean? And he's talented artist and shit like that. Long story short, he's at the casino gambling. A fan is pressing him hard, body. He want a picture. The man is in the middle of gambling. Money is on the line. And he's telling him, nah, I ain't doing pictures right now. This motherfucker really made it a big issue. Like his entourage, Big X entourage had to kind of get in between. It looks like the casino staff had to get involved. And everybody in the comments was saying the same thing. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Leave the man alone. It was a few people like, oh, this is what you signed up for. You're a celebrity. Nothing pisses me off more than that statement because just because somebody becomes a fucking celebrity, which is almost easy as fuck to do these days, doesn't mean that they want and acquire all that goddamn unwanted, unsolicited attention all the fucking time. If at any, some people they work hard, they blow up, or they get in a position where they blow up. They're this big person, and everybody wants to know them and be a part of what they got going on. And it never was in their personality to have this type of attention on them. They just were good at what they did. You feel me? And now everybody is idolizing them. First of all, you're not supposed to be idolizing these celebrities anyways. They're just regular people. And just like you have bad days, celebrities can have bad days too. Or it doesn't even have to be a bad day. It could simply just be a no. No means no. How many times do we have to learn this in school? Like that's the problem with some grown adults now. They don't understand no means no. That's why we see the things we see. And we'll get into that later about no meaning no. But grown adults not being able to comprehend no means no is a problem. Because if somebody's telling you no, it doesn't matter whether you feel like, oh, you're a celebrity. They're not obligated to fuck with you. Nobody's obligated to fuck with you. I used to be in California all the time, hiking and walking around, and I'm like, damn, these people do not say good morning. Like, I'm used to the South where people look at you, good morning, how you doing? They, nod their head, they raise their arm. Even the most racist of racist motherfuckers is gonna say good morning in the South. Um, West Coast, not so much. I only really got good mornings when I went hiking and crossing people on the trail. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Other than that, people mind they fucking business. They didn't really say good morning. Now, is it up to me to feel some type of way because people ain't saying fucking good morning? You could, but you can't make these fucking people say good morning to you, man. That's not the way they operate. That's not how they move. That's not in their interest. That's they don't care about that shit just because you were brought up that way. So just because in your mind you feel like, oh, this is a celebrity, they should be taking pictures with people because that's what they're supposed to do. That does not make that a fact. That's something that you probably experienced, so that's your understanding of a celebrity, but that's not a fact. These people don't have to fuck with you, dummy. Like that shit pissed me off so bad. Cause guarantee if it ever gets to a point where I got attention on me like this and people are idolizing me, which at a level that I'm at, it already happens quite often. Um, and I'm not even nowhere near a BigXthaPlug level, but already like it be like that. Whenever I'm around or if I'm in town and people find out they wanna, oh, where you gonna be? Where you at? I don't always want to do that. So it's like I have to pace myself, even with family members. It's been family members. Where you at? Where you at? Hey man, I'm chilling. I don't really want all that right now. I love you, but I don't want all that. Simple. Respect people's boundaries, dog. It's fucking 2025. If you can't fucking respect people's boundaries in a year that you hear it the most, you probably hear boundaries, the word, more than you've ever heard it in any fucking lifetime. Boundaries is a main character word right now. It's a top 5 fucking word. Boundaries, manipulator, narcissist. These are top fucking words right now. So if you don't understand or know what it is, you have a bigger problem yourself. Type shit. Everybody's teaching you what this shit means right now. It's highlighted words right now. But yeah, back to the idolizing celebrities part. This is the reason why you should not do that. It's many reasons, but people forget that they're just humans like everybody else. We're seeing it with the couples, people that used to idolize these celebrity couples. It's hitting them hard right now. Remy and Papoose have let all hell break loose. It's sad as fuck to see it happen. But it's normal. It's what people go through on a normal, everyday fucking basis that are not under the scope of the world. It's unfortunate, but it's normal. And even Cardi and Offset, they've been going back and forth for years. They actually should have gave this shit up many, many kids ago. But when you love somebody, you just cannot control that want to make things better, that need and desire to see things through. You want to see it happen. You want to believe that it's your turn, it's your time. Love has arrived, happily ever after. All the shit that you learned when you were fucking 5, you want to believe that, okay, it's finally my turn. But it's a reason they say the person you marry is not the person you divorce. Once a relationship has hit a certain point and y'all ain't really in bliss no more, y'all ain't really making excuses for each other no more, it's not as cute and fun as it was anymore. It gets to this gray area, and the gray area will make or break you as a couple. If people put the work in while they're in the gray area, still work on yourself and still work together as a couple, you can survive that shit. But if you were already on a weak foundation, already having issues, and you enter into a gray area where it's like it's not good or bad, it's not fun or depressing, it's just blah, it's just this is my person, this is what we've been doing for a while, blah blah blah. That if you don't work to make things better naturally and within yourself, and then work together as a couple and have goals and expectations of how this shit should go, and how much you mean to each other, what you're willing to do to see this through, then it could easily turn into a bad, negative, nasty, evil thing where people are hurting each other. And it's unfair because this is somebody that you once loved with all your heart, and you can't imagine them doing this to you, but it happens. It's fucking life. It's unfortunate, but it's life. And this is the main reason why life has taught me, and I preach this to other people that I see going down certain paths that are familiar to me. I've been down there. I know what that's like. I even know the outcome. When I see it, and whenever I'm allowed to address it, because I try not to just put my opinion off on people unsolicited, but whenever the opportunity arises for me to address certain things with my friends or acquaintances that I see, then I try to let them know, you know what I mean? Because to me, you can't really give nobody advice on their relationship. They're going to stay. If they want to stay, they're going to leave. They want to leave. They already know what they want to do. Sometimes they just seeking outside validation, and I don't give it to them because I'm not going to be to blame. First of all, and second of all, you have to follow your gut, your heart, because if you don't, you're going to regret it anyways. So you leave the power in their hands and you let them know, hey, it doesn't matter what I think you should do. All I know is I went through this before. And once it was over, the only thing I beat myself up about was how long I dealt with it, how long I stayed in it, how long I let it happen without taking action. That's the only thing, that's the only piece of advice I tell people. And it's not even advice, it's just me bringing something to their attention. Like, it doesn't matter what you choose. What's on the other side of this choice is going to be the self-judgment. Whenever you really sit down with yourself and be like, why did I fucking put myself through that? Why did I wait that long? You start questioning yourself and questioning your judgment. And that's the part that eats you up. It's not the other person. It's the stuff that you put on yourself. When you start beating yourself up, blaming yourself, questioning yourself, you're unsure about yourself. You don't know if you can trust yourself. That's whenever you start really battling stuff internally that you cannot seek anybody's help with, because you have to get to a place of forgiving your own self. And that ain't always easy. I'm hard to forgive other people, let alone my damn self. So it's really a conflicting stage to be in, and everybody has to go through it. So you have to make a decision on your own. Nobody can tell you what to do, but life has taught me to be happy for what I have and also be very happy for what I don't have. Because you have to be careful what you ask for. You have to be careful what you pray for, because you might get it. And then what happens when you get it and you're not ready for it, you're not prepared for it, you're not experienced, like you get some shit that is overwhelming, and that shit ends up crushing you. But you prayed for it, you asked for it. Oh God, I want this, I want that. Be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. I tell people this every fucking day. You just might get what you're asking for, and a lot of times we don't even really understand what we're asking for. We don't understand the scope of what we're asking for, because what you're asking for is one part of what it takes to have it. You ain't thinking about the work. You ain't thinking about the fucking journey you got to go on to get it, the people you got to gain, the people you got to lose to get it. Excuse me. The allergies fucking me up right now. So if it's a lot of sniffing and all that shit, that's why. No other things. Eyes swollen. Been having to take eye drops and everything. Allergy season fucking me up. The weather changing. But yeah, it's really like you don't know what you're putting yourself in. You don't know what you're signing up for. You think, oh God, I want a brand new car. You don't know that in order to get this brand new car, you're gonna have to move, you're gonna have to stop talking to this person, you're gonna have to give up this, stop eating this, like, and it's not even that this stuff just naturally goes together. This is just what it's going to take in order for you to get what you asked for. I'm going to have to move you here. These people got to go. All of this stuff has to change. I need your mind here. So you're going to have to stop eating certain things, that you're going to have to stop doing certain things. Like, you just don't know what all goes into God giving you what you asked for. I had posted a quote on my Instagram that says, oftentimes we ask God for sunshine, not understanding that in order for us to have those flowers, it also takes rain. Um, so if you're going to ask God for something, you got to be prepared for what all goes into it. You asking God for flowers, for sunshine. And on the other side of flowers and sunshine is rain and dark clouds. Like, it all goes together. One can't exist without the other. So you got to go through the dark times. You got to go through the rain. You got to go through the clouds. You got to go through the dreariness in order to get to the sunshine, the joy, the happiness, the butterflies, all the fun, all the excitement. Um, so yeah, be grateful for what you have, but also be grateful for what you don't have. Appreciate the moment, because God could be protecting you from something. I remember being in California, and I would say all the time how, I miss my mom, and I just want to be able to do small stuff with her, because, um 10 years over there, all these holidays, all these things that the family's doing, all the get-togethers, everything that I missed, and I'm just seeing people together. And my mom's going to these events mostly by herself. Sometimes she might have one kid in town or something, and she used to always say, she wanted family pictures, and we always in different places, never really together. One kid here, one kid there, grandkids here and there. And like lately, I've been able to do those things with my mom. I've been able to shop with my mom, cook for my mom, spend time with my nieces and nephews, my siblings, doing family activities, going to events with my mother. I wanted that. I said I wanted that. I didn't know in order for me to get it, I was going to have to go through all of the shit that I went through. Today marks the day that I moved back to Georgia from California, June 1st of 2023. I caught a flight and I left. And I landed in Jacksonville. My mom picked me up and brought me to Valdosta. I stayed in Valdosta for a couple months, and then I went to. I think I stayed in Valdosta for a month exact, and then I went to Atlanta, and I stayed the entire last year in Atlanta, the entire 2023 and most of 2024 in Atlanta with my baby brother and his family, and then I came back to Valdosta and tail end of 2024, and that's where I've been right now, still in Valdosta with my mom, but it's crazy because I said that stuff, but I'm not thinking of what it might take for me to get it. All I know is I miss my mom and I miss spending time with my mom. I knew that it could be as easy as me moving back to Georgia, but I didn't want to move back to Georgia. I like living in California. That's where I was going to be. That's where I made up my mind I was going to be, and I didn't plan to ever really leave. But be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. I got what I asked for. That time I wanted with my mom, I'm living in it. The time I've been wanting to spend with my family, I'm living in it. We having an event in a couple weeks. I'm hosting it. They asked me to host it for the family. I'm gonna be there hosting it. The point is, you don't know how you're gonna get it. Was I ready to leave California and give up everything that I worked for over 10 years? No. I can be honest with you and say no. I was not ready to leave California. I was not ready to give up everything. Certain circumstances happened to where none of that shit mattered. I was not well mentally, spiritually, emotionally, health wise. I was declining. Before my grandmother passed, she told me she wanted me to move back to Georgia. She wanted me to be close to the family. And I told my grandmother on the phone, I said, Grandma, we believe in God. And we always say that God has the last say, so God has the control. So I told her, if it ever got hard for me to live in California, I would be gone. The moment I felt like I couldn't do it, it was too hard, I would leave. And before she passed, the last time I saw my grandmother when she was laying pretty much on her deathbed, even though she didn't die at the hospital, but this was my last chance to see her ever in life. And I told her, I said, Grandma, I think I'm gonna come on back this way. I'm gonna come back to Georgia. Now, this was in 2019. Remember, I didn't leave until 2023. My grandmother passed in 2019, and I told her, I said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and come back to Georgia and live this way. And my grandmother told me, now you're on the right track. That's what my grandma said. So whenever I left Georgia, well, sorry, when I left California, it was all the signs that this was the right track. My hotel room that I stayed in before I left was 212, the room number. That's my mother's birthday. I got picked up by a Lyft driver, Uber driver, and he was playing this gospel song. So many times the Lord has made a way for me. I'm tearing up right now. And he told me a story about a city mouse and a country mouse. Once I told him I was moving back to Georgia from California, he said, "Oh, the country mouse going back." And I said, "What you mean by that?" He said, "You never heard of the country mouse and the city mouse?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "The country mouse leaves the country and moves to the city, with all these dreams, feeling like they're missing out on something. And then one day, the country mouse decides to go back to the country because the country mouse realized that no matter about where they moved, they were always going to be a country mouse." And I was like, dang, that's crazy because I had moved to the big city a couple of times in my life. I've lived in Atlanta, I've lived in Florida, um, and I've moved to San Diego. So it's like I've lived in big cities before, but I'm still a country mouse. At the end of the day, I still wanted my mama. I still wanted to spend time with my family. I still missed everybody. Doesn't mean that, I can't go back. But at the time, the country mouse was just returning back to the nest. You know what I mean? I was returning back to my home front. And ironic enough, June 1st is also the day that my best friend passed away, 2018. So it was like June 1st, all this stuff happening on June 1st was kind of crazy. It was an emotional roller coaster because I did not want to leave, but I knew I needed to. Everything was pointing at me leaving. And honestly, I don't know if I would be where I'm at in any way had I not left. Since I've left, I've accomplished a lot of things that I may could have accomplished there, but it would have been harder because I didn't have no support there for real. I have my friends and acquaintances, my landlord, them, but not really nobody I could lean on like that. So if I fell down, which I was having hard times and I needed support, it was nobody to hold me up. So when I came here to Georgia, I got all these people holding me up. My baby brother and his wife, they held me up. My baby brother's wife's family, they was holding me up, inviting me to stuff, people getting me outside. My mother has been the biggest encouragement and help. She's held me up, even whenever I probably didn't really deserve it. When other people would have gave up on me, she held me up, and she continues to hold me up. Um, I've gotten back in school. I have a pretty cool job that values me, and they provide so many resources for my disabilities, which many jobs don't care. My job does. I'm not the best employee, but I do my best, and they take care of me, and it's a good job, and I get to do it from the comfort of my home. I've gotten in school and I'm doing good. I'm moving along. I'm knocking classes out. It's the first time in a long time where my finances have been okay enough for me to actually finish. So that's the goal, to actually finish this time, because I was judged for not finishing college by people in the family before, but they didn't understand I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money, even though I felt like I would my whole life because I was told I would have the money. I didn't have the money. So I couldn't finish. And so now I got the money, and I'm finishing. And I done went on and got licensed to sell insurance through my job, which wasn't easy. I passed on the first try. Um, I've been doing shit, man. Been bringing my brands back. I got my clothing brand back. People been shopping. Like, it's been good to see the orders coming through, because at one point it was dry. But I'm not a type of person where I like to give up on things that I envision. So even though I haven't really been doing crazy blasting promotion of the clothing brand Big Love LLC, you hear it whenever you listen to the podcast. You see it anytime you see me dressed up. Sometimes I got on something Big Love branded. Um, I've been I've been subtly still holding on to it, but now it's time to really bring it back full force. Like, I need all my brands booming. That's why the podcast has not left and went nowhere. And that's why when my affiliate, whenever they told me you should take that topic to the podcast, I was like, you right. Because I don't want none of my shit to die. At one point, all of this was just an idea, and it took off. I done made over $5,000 with the clothing brand just from my own ideas, my own shit. You feel me? The podcast, I've had over I think it's over 8,000, 9,000 streams of the podcast, because in the pandemic, I used the fucking podcast to meet people and to interview people and help people. Man, like, all this shit means something to me. You know, Even with the music, I ain't doing music like that because I ain't where I was creating at that level. But it still matters a great deal to me. You still gonna get music from me, good music, great quality music at that. It's just that ain't where I'm at right now. God is taking me on a different journey. So I have to do that like on some spare time shit. Whenever it was my whole life in California, it was my everyday. I probably would be out filming right now. It's a Sunday too. Niggas is off, but it just ain't happening. It ain't happening like that. So you can't dwell on what's not happening and focus on what is happening. And I've added on Big Love Entertainment Group, where I'm going to be managing artists and helping artists just with services and anything that they need, getting to the next level. That's what I'm providing through Big Love Entertainment Group. And I got one artist, which is my producer, Doc Marzi. And me and him been working together a great deal, making stuff happen for him. And he's a great artist, and he's making shit happen for himself. I'm just assisting where I can, and people are fucking with it. He doing a great job. He looking good. He doing really good things, and I'm proud of him. Um, but yeah, man, all of that had to happen with me leaving California in order for me to have all of this stuff happening. Like I'm helping people. I'm putting myself in a better position. I'm helping myself. I'm getting better in my personal life. Like I also used to say all the time, I wanted to just be Casey. I didn't want to have to be Bizzy Balboa for the rest of my life. Like I said, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. I ain't living life like Bizzy Balboa right now. This is some Casey shit right now. Like it's all personal life shit. I'm not on a stage performing in front of thousands and thousands of people like I was just a couple of years ago. It's more quiet. It's more still. It ain't a lot of shit happening. It's boring, but it ain't always a bad thing when God slows you down. Sometimes that's for a good thing. You never know why God is slowing you down or why God is moving you in a certain direction. As bad as I want to be where I was doing what I was doing, I realized the pros and the cons, you know. Like, yeah, I could be doing all of that, but I wouldn't be doing all of this. And this is just as equally important as what I was doing in California. And California, I talk about it like it's like over, but it's not over. It's only been 2 years I've been gone, and I still got a fucking California driver's license. So it's not been that damn long. And at any point, I could just stop doing what I'm doing and go back. I'm making a choice. I'm making a decision not to, because I like who I am right now. I like how I'm taking care of myself. I like how it's not fuzzy and I'm not unhinged and feeling like I don't have no control over my future or my reality. Cause mentally I'm still battling certain things mentally where sometimes my mind plays tricks on me and it makes me question things that I should not be questioning. And because I'm where I'm at, it's easy for me to speak about it and be like, hey, this is what's going on with me. And, I can do something about it a lot quicker than living completely isolated like I was in California and not really having anybody to talk to about this. I'm having to wait until my next appointment type shit. And I'm 2,000 miles away from everybody. And the answer, when you live that far away from everybody, the answer is always just move back home. They don't have no advice for you living that damn far. They don't know what they should tell you to do. All they know is if you were here, then maybe I could do more to help you. So living isolated like that and having issues mentally, and it's not good. It's not a good idea because the only thing that really has the ability to get through to you 24/7 is your mind, and your mind is not well. So the whole time that your mind ain't well, it's cooking your ass, and there's nothing to do to stop it. Nobody to stop it. I used to do my best to try to stop my mind. I go to the beach, I go to the lake. I got so many videos at different parts of San Diego. I would get in the car and just drive wherever I wanted to go, Malibu, Vegas. I would just go somewhere so I can take my mind off what I was dealing with. And it just gets to a point where that shit don't work. You need people. I get it now. As much as I be wanting to be left alone and isolated, you do need a certain type of people around you. People that actually care. It's actually gonna look into things and try to help uh get you some help figure out what's best for you. You need certain people around you that can help you out. And I'm grateful that I have, some people around me that care about me enough to be like, hey, you should do this or you shouldn't do this, whatever the case may be. So that's a major part of the podcast is be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. That's a major, major part of the podcast today. I also wanted to talk about some things that are controversial, but I might have to leave that for another day because I don't want to make this too long. I want y'all to take the main part of this podcast and think on that. You know what I mean? Live on that, think on that because people don't get it whenever I be talking to them about be careful what you ask for. They always talking about what they want. Be careful with that. Cause you don't the same way you want it, you're not gonna receive it. It's not just gonna fall in your lap like, oh, I wanted a new job. Oh my God, I have it. Like it's gonna take some sacrifices. I talked to a girl that recently was saying, oh, if we were to talk, neither one of us have to give up anything. Like if you wanted to move back to California and I wanted to live in Georgia, we could do that. We don't have to give up anything. And while that may be cool and understanding, I don't want to be in any relationship where a person already is telling me that they're not willing to sacrifice anything or will adjust around everything. I feel like at some point in everything that you do, especially in relationships, it's going to require a bit of sacrifice. Somebody has to give something up in order for it to work. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be something super small. But in any relationship, there's compromising and sacrificing and things like that that you have to do in order for things to work. If you're saying that you don't want to give up anything or sacrifice anything, then that means when it arises where somebody has to sacrifice, or specifically when you have to sacrifice or give something up, you're not going to be willing to do that because you're not even accepting of the idea of having to do that shit. So if it does take where I'm sick or some shit and I need to live in a certain place in order for me to get the best treatment and you don't want to live there, I probably will be there by my motherfucking self because you don't feel like you got to give nothing up. You don't feel like you got to sacrifice nothing. You don't feel like you got to compromise. I don't know. Maybe that's just my way of thinking, but if you ain't willing to give nothing up, then you should not be dating. Just my opinion. But yeah, we'll come back on another episode to talk about black men because I've been real disappointed in them lately, uh, and some other stuff. But we'll talk about that later. For now, I'm gonna just leave y'all with that. Be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Life's beautiful, you know what I mean? But it does come with some dangers, it does come with some negative territory. And sometimes we have to be molded. We have to be taught things the hard way. I used to get mad because I was learning things the hard way, but then I realized who I was dealing with. I'm dealing with myself. And God knows that God is dealing with me. God knows me. In order for me to learn anything, it has to be the hard way because I'm hard headed, because I grew up very rebellious. If my mom said don't go, I was going. If she said don't do that, I'm doing it. So the best way for God to teach me these lessons was for me to allow me to go through with it so that I could see for myself that that was not a good idea. I had to learn things the hard way, and I'm not mad at God for it. I'm mad because I wasn't open to learning a different way. I used to also say, oh, everything happened for a reason. I just wish that I could have learned that a different way. Well, I could have, but I'm stubborn. You got to understand who you're dealing with in the mirror. I'm stubborn as fuck. The best way for me to learn anything is for it to fall right in my face, especially whenever it was my idea. That's the best way for me to learn from my mistakes is for my idea to fall flat on make me fall flat on my face, make me fail with my idea. I bet you I learned quicker from that than you sitting there telling me. I'm gonna hear you talking, but I ain't really picking it up. Oh yeah, yeah, it's dangerous. Oh okay, yeah, it's bad. Oh okay, all right. Well, I'll see y'all later. I'm finna head on over. But me being like, yeah, we're gonna go up there, everything is gonna be fine. It's gonna be, yeah, I mapped it all out. I know exactly what I'm doing. And get up there and it's not that, baby, you ain't gotta worry about catching a dog. You ain't got to worry about catching a dog. You have to worry about a dog catching your ass. Because when I tell you I'm going to learn from that shit right then and there, oh, my idea didn't work. Oh, say less. Lesson learned. This won't happen again. I can guarantee your ass that. So, with that being said, I'm grateful for God teaching me the lessons that God has taught me, whether I was ready for those lessons or not, whether I got hurt or not. I'm grateful for each and every lesson, each and every moment. I'm grateful for the journey, whether it happened the way I wanted it to or not. I know that it's not about my plans. Life is not about my expectations or my plans. Yes, it's my life. I get to make choices and decisions, but the way that this shit was written, it's no altering it. I have to go in the way of which the Lord wants me to go. That's the only way for things to work out. If I continue to be rebellious, things are going to continue to fall flat. And I'm learning that. I'm not saying that I got to be a super big Christian and then like that, but I need to pay attention when God is talking to me. I do need to do that at the very least. God has been talking to me a couple of times. God told me what to do, what not to do. It was signs there. I ignored them. When you care and when you love something and love somebody, you will make excuses for shit. You will overlook shit. You got to be careful with that. God has taught me so much, and I'm very grateful. Not saying that, oh, I'll never go through nothing again, because this is a part of the journey. This is a part of the life. You live and you learn. I might go through 100 more motherfucking things. I hope not, but this life. I'm only fucking 36. So much life to live, man. I ain't even think I'll make it to see this damn far. And I definitely didn't try. If anything, I didn't live responsible for a lot of years. So anything could have happened to me, but I'm here and I'm not going to keep sitting around letting time go to waste whenever, people like my best friend who passed away at just 30 years old, he had so much life to live. He would have been grateful for this opportunity to keep living and change his life and do things and that he dreamed of and wanted to do. So, I can't take advantage of this opportunity whenever other people didn't even get the chance, especially people that I love and people that I knew. Um, I miss my best friend. I miss Rocky. I miss a lot of people that passed on too early, prematurely. You know what I mean? I gotta live for them people and myself because if they were still here, they would be doing amazing fucking shit. And they would be wanting me to continue to do amazing fucking shit. They wouldn't want me to give up and bow down or to give in, especially not to my thoughts, because a lot of that stuff is just made up. So I'm working overtime right now to just make a better life for myself. And it's going to happen one day at a time. Until then, I just got to keep doing what I know. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what I do best. And that's entertaining the people and, you know, just creating and doing my best in my personal life to achieve all these goals. And I just see a better life for me if I keep working. And I don't know how to stop working. So a better life is loading. With that being said, I love y'all, man, and I appreciate y'all sticking by me and sticking with me. It's always a blessing to have y'all and to see the numbers and to know that there's somebody out there that cares, somebody out there listening to me. And without y'all support and all the stuff that I do, it really would not be a point in doing any of it. So if you haven't already, there's a link that's usually in the description of my podcast that has all my links. It's a link tree link, but if you click on it, you'll see that I got my music, my merch, my books, my clothing, podcast, everything that I do is in that link. I would appreciate it if I saw more people with Bizzy Balboa memorabilia. It ain't always gonna be like this. So, get the stuff while you can and while it matters. You know what I mean? Get you a book, a journal, get you some merch, get you a shirt, a hat, whatever. Listen to the music, stream the podcast like you're doing right now. Get involved. It ain't always gonna be like this. One day I'm gonna be long gone. You might still be here, and you're gonna be like, "Dang, I remember when Bizzy was promoting her stuff. I wish I would have let her know that I was a big fan and I listened to a podcast. I just never could afford a shirt or whatever the fucking thing may be." Fuck with me, man. It's not all about money. I want to know that I'm impacting or making a difference. So if you fucking with the podcast, go on Spotify, get involved in the Q&A and the polls, leave a comment, let me know you fucking with it. Message me on Instagram. I got the podcast page, I got the Big Love LLC page, I got the Big Love Entertainment Group page, Bizzy Balboa page. Email me. Like, it's ways to get in contact with me to let me know. Your love is appreciated, your love is needed, your love is genuine and grateful. I'm happy to have you. So, talk to me. Tell me something. I would love to communicate with y'all and have y'all interacting with the podcast. Don't expect any guests anytime soon. I'm way too busy for that. So it'll just be me. As far as the co-host that I had mentioned, that's still up in the air. Like I said, that person is a mother. People be busy. Person also is married. So I ain't the type to press nobody, but I know that they're highly interested in doing it. They talk to me many times about it. So they may come, they may not. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, the show goes on. I've had many times where I thought I was going to have a co-host and nobody came. People talk, but that's a whole nother subject. You're going to meet people. Some people talk a good game. They're not who they hype themselves up to be. I've fallen for that in my personal life and professional life. It's unfortunate, but it's life. You got to just have some type of discernment and also not get too caught up into people at all. That's why I do almost everything by myself. You don't really see me with a huge team or anything. Like, I got my main guys that I work with pretty much all the time. Other than that, you don't see me with no huge team. I do almost everything by myself. It's hardly anything that I outsource, because if you want something done, you got to do it yourself, So I learn everything and I put shit together, and that's how we get what we get. That's how you get the entertainment that you get from me. But yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all tapping in. I know it's been a minute, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode. But yeah, man, continue spreading love, peace, positivity. Stay safe, but stay dangerous. I'm Bizzy Balboa. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Get to Know Me podcast. New episodes released weekly on Saturdays and Wednesdays. In the weeks where we skip, please tune into our previous episodes. Other ways to support is word of mouth, following us on all social media and podcast platforms, and supporting a guest on our show. You also can become a subscribed listener by signing up as low as 99 cents a month, where you will have access to exclusive episodes, a chance to win prizes, and more. Again, thank you for tuning into the Get to Know Me podcast, created and hosted by Bizzy Balboa.